What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my YouTube channel for another Shipt inspired video. Today I'm going to be giving you guys some techniques and strategies to enhance the quality of your customer service skills when dealing with difficult customers. So I have a few scenarios of difficult customers, and I am going to help you guys navigate your way through dealing with these types of situations. And no, I do not think that the customer is always right. But I think there is a right or positive way to handle every situation. So let's get into the video. Tyra, the creative. That's right. The creative. The first difficult customer that we're going to talk about is a customer with funky pets or pets that you are afraid of and they want you to come inside to drop off groceries. You guys, I've had to deal with this numerous times, and I think the best thing that you can do in this situation is to stand up for yourself. Set a boundary. If you don't want to go into a home, and of course it's COVID, but overall, if you don't want to go into someone's home because of their pet or whatever they have going on, you are 100% right in not wanting to do that. So set that boundary, but be transparent with the customer. Hey customer, I'm sorry, but I'm allergic to cats. Or hey customer, I'm sorry, but I am terrified of dogs. Or hey customer, I don't feel comfortable going into your home because you have an animal in there. Please accept these groceries right here on your porch, or let's do a handoff outside of the home. Because it is not mandatory for you guys to go into the home. I know you may feel obligated, and that's something that runs deep in gig work or tip-driven work. Sometimes we as Shipt shoppers or anyone who gets tips feels obligated to do certain things so they do not mess up their tips. But I also want to let you know, do not be tip-driven. It will literally drive you crazy to sit there and say, oh my God, I have to do this because if I don't, then I won't get a tip. And if I don't get a tip, then it won't make sense for me to keep doing Shipt shopping. No, that is not the way to think about it. And you will honestly drive yourself crazy. But on the flip side of that, weigh your options. There may be a chance that you will not get a tip because you did not drop the groceries off inside. So talk to yourself and say, hey, is it worth me not getting a tip? Like, is this something that's important enough to me? Am I really just not comfortable with it, or is it something else? Weigh those options with yourself and then decide from there. But do not be 100% tip driven. So be transparent, let them know what you are willing and not willing to do, and set that boundary and be okay with that, because you have to stand up for yourself. Number 2 is dealing with a deaf or hearing impaired person. Now, before you guys jump in the comments saying these people are not difficult, I do not mean that they are difficult. I mean, some people may have a little trouble dealing with this type of situation because they don't deal with these people on a regular basis. So they may feel a little uncomfortable. With that being said, when you are dealing with a deaf customer, 9 times out of 10, they'll have a phone to text. But in the rare case that they had a landline and you cannot communicate with them via phone, then once you drop off the groceries, make sure that you are always holding eye contact with them. And I also want to say, fun fact, I actually have a deaf cousin, so I know a little bit of American Sign Language. So in these situations, I feel prepared to interact with these people in a normal way. So don't get flustered and make sure that you just do your job as normal, because they are normal, regular people. They just can't hear what you're saying. And some deaf, hearing impaired people can read lips. So in that case, if you want to speak to them, just speak a little slower, not too slow because they're not dumb. Speak a little slower so they know that you're trying to communicate with them, and if they can read lips, then they will be able to read your lips. And also, learn a little bit of sign language. It's not that hard. Or use common gestures. So like this, like, okay, good, I'm good to go. Or even thank you. This means thank you in sign language. So if someone was speaking sign language to you, like thank you for dropping off the groceries, you can respond by saying thank you back. Or you can even say I'm fine, or this means no problem. So just learning a couple of different terms can really take you a long way. The next difficult customer that we're going to touch on is a customer on a landline. We all have had customers that solely have a landline. It's 2021. I don't know why they only have a landline, but that's their prerogative. If you have a customer that only has a landline, that means you have limited communication with them. I remember I had a customer with a landline and they would not pick up the phone. If you have a customer with a landline, plan to give them a call at the end of your shop so you can run through everything that is going on and give them all of the details that they need. In this call, I would suggest that you talk very slowly and were patient with them if they did did have questions, because this is the one phone call that you're gonna have with them, because you don't wanna be calling back and forth. It's gonna slow you down a lot. So during that phone call, also ask them targeted questions, whether it's about substitution or if they needed anything. Ask them targeted questions like, would you like me to use my best judgment to replace the juice that they did not have that you wanted? Whatever that is, but make sure that it is very specific to the order. And also give them as much detail as you can about the order status, about how long it'll take you to get to them, in as little words as possible, because you don't want to word vomit and then they just get all overwhelmed and now they don't even know what's going on and they just hang up the phone and then something goes wrong. You want to speak very intently and say just the right amount of stuff to get your point across, to get the order to them on time with little to no mistakes. So the next one is customers who are constantly adding more things to the shopping list. This used to be so frustrating for me, you guys, and I had to realize that I needed to set a boundary for me to stay sane as a Shipt shopper. And I also want to touch on this. This is something that we don't really talk about in the workplace, but mental health in the workplace, whether that's corporate America or the gig economy, your mental health is very important. So when dealing with a customer like this and it's getting kind of annoying or they're putting you behind your schedule, you want to set a cap, you want to set a limit, and you also want to set a boundary for yourself. So you want to be transparent with that customer and say, hey, my Shipt card only has a certain amount of money on it. It probably won't go through if you continue adding all of these extra items to it. Now, I don't really know if that'll happen or not, but that is a way to set your boundary, to put a cap on it. If you don't feel comfortable saying something like that, you can say something more along the lines of, hey, to ensure an on-time delivery, I'm going to need to finish your shop in the next 5 minutes. If you have any more last-minute items that you need to add, please send them to me right now. And now they have that time frame, they have that cap. If they see that message after 5 minutes from the time you sent it, then they'll know, oh, okay, they're finishing up this shop. I can't add anything else to it, so I'm gonna just leave it alone. Versus a Shipt shopper just letting them add whatever they want and eventually delivering the order late. And the last one we're going to talk about is the angry customer, no matter what they're angry for. So I had a situation where I had an angry customer who wanted to just cancel her order, and I've talked about this in another Shipt video, but I think the best thing to approach this situation with is to first apologize to the customer for their inconvenience. Even if you don't think that they deserve an apology or they're warranted an apology, apologize to release that energy from yourself. And also, don't take it personal. You don't know what this person is going through. This person could have had a bad day. This person could have lost someone today. You know, you don't know what's going on. And they are just venting what they're feeling, their frustrations, to you because you're an easy target. So don't take that personally. But if you're thinking, oh, I don't deserve to be talked to like this, I need to be able to stand up for myself, or they're really pissing me off, I understand that 100%, but the key in it is to not take it personally and actually go through all of those thoughts that I was just saying. They could be having a bad day, they're not really mad at me, they don't even know me. So, you know, saying those things to yourself can really help you to not harbor those negative emotions, because harboring those negative emotions can make the rest of your day, the rest of your week suck, you guys. And we all know as gig workers, we deal with a lot of difficult people. Let's call them special people. We deal with a lot of special people on a daily basis. So if we were harboring in all of those feelings from all of these different people that we're only spending a short amount of time with, we would go crazy. So as a Shipt shopper, we can take a lot of things personal. I've met so many people that are just so upset with life on a daily basis because of the people that they interact with. And it's very important not to take any of that personal, because it can cause you to have a shitty day, a shitty week. It can cause you to resent wanting to even continue being a Shipt shopper, when in reality, that shouldn't have anything to do with your job, because you should build up your mental fortitude to know that you're here to get get a job done, and whatever this person has going on over here has nothing to do with me. But also, on the flip side of that, if you are feeling upset or feeling mad, acknowledge that and let yourself know that it's okay to be mad, it's okay to be upset, and feel that. I think something that we do as gig workers and people who work in general is we tend to suppress our feelings and our emotions, and they just end up bubbling up and boiling over one day, and that is not healthy at all. So I think one way to combat that is to make sure that we are not doing things out of obligation of a tip, and also focus on the things that you love about being a Shipt shopper, like the fact that you get to make your own schedule, or the fact that you get to do this amazing service for some people who can't do it for themselves. Focus on what makes you happy about your current job, not the difficult, special people. And I think this is the biggest one of all for me, is to learn how to stay calm. And you guys, this was hard. Not even gonna lie, it's not an easy thing. All of the stuff that I mentioned is not an easy thing, but that's why I felt it's so important to make a video like this, because I know I focused more so on the mental side of things, but it's something that is not talked about a lot. So I really just wanted to, you know, check in with you guys and see how you're doing. How are you enjoying Shipt life? Let me know in the comments below how you're doing, because I genuinely care. And if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure that you give it a like. If you have any questions about anything that I said, as always, put them down in the comments below and I'll be sure to answer as many comments as I can. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that big red subscribe button down below, and make sure your notifications are on so you can get all of the alerts anytime I post any new Shipt content. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hang in there, and I'll see you in the next one.